Hello everyone, my name is Night Paradox and I am the world's greatest evil mastermind. Today I'd like to talk about something that I've seen a lot in the VTuber community, and that's an inability to edit videos. A lot of people in this community have no clue how to edit a video. And I think that's a shame because, in my opinion nowadays, you're not going to grow your stream by just streaming. You need to be doing something else. A lot of the time that's making videos, tweeting, being present on social media, that sort of thing. And I think it's a bit of a disservice to the VTuber community if I did not help to teach you all how to edit a video. So today we're going to do something simple and easy, just a basic editing tutorial. We're going to be teaching you how to cut a video, maybe add some small effects, that sort of thing. We're going to cut down a VOD from 2 hours to around 10 minutes. And that's about the ideal that you want for YouTube. In particular, we're going to be looking at a particular VShojo member, Nyanners. We're going to be looking at one of her videos, and we're going to see if we can't replicate her techniques, the things that she employs in her videos, and see if we can't replicate those on a budget of, drumroll please, $0. I did just want to say that I also do stream on twitch.tv/night__paradox. The link to that is going to be in the description. So I'd really appreciate it if you'd check me out there. If you like this video, comment and subscribe. And yeah, so let's get back to business. Now, the way that we're going to do this is by using a program called DaVinci Resolve 17. This is a completely free editing program, and right about now this is pretty much the industry standard for video editing. If you've never used it before, it does have a bit of a learning curve, but it's very worth it. It's the best in the whole business. As you can see here, it's been used to edit films like Godzilla, King of the Monsters, Detective Pikachu, Fast and Furious, Hobbs and Shaw. Lots of films. So what we're going to do is we're going to go down to DaVinci Resolve 17. You're going to click download now, and this link will be in the description for DaVinci Resolve. So if you don't know where to go, then just go there. You're going to click your operating system. For me, we're going to click Windows. Do not click Studio, because Studio is the paid version. Now, if you like DaVinci and you like using it and you want to upgrade later down the line, you can go ahead and do that. But today we're just going to be using the standard DaVinci Resolve 17. So you're going to click Windows. It's going to make you fill out a bunch of details, and then you're going to click Register and Download, and it'll give you a package. And you're going to go ahead and install that package. Now, I've already installed DaVinci, so I don't need to do this part. So this tutorial is assuming that you already have your VOD downloaded, but if you don't, I'm going to go ahead and show you how to do that. You're going to go to your Twitch channel if you're on Twitch. Go to your creator dashboard. Let it load. You're going to go to your content tab, video producer, and then you're going to click these little dots next to the VOD. And you're going to click download, and that will download the VOD for you. And if you're on YouTube, you can go to your YouTube channel, go to your creator studio, your YouTube studio, go to your content tab, click the dots next to your video or your VOD here, click download, and boom, you're good to go. So let those download, and then when you have those, you're going to load up DaVinci. So when you first load up DaVinci, you're going to see all of your projects that you've created. These are going to be blurred out for you guys because some of these are private things for clients. But anyway, you're going to double click Untitled Project. This is going to create a new project. Give it a second to load. Just a moment. All right, so it seems like it's good to go now. So this is your timeline. And you're going to get very acquainted with this thing. What you're first going to do is you're going to go into your file explorer, and and you're going to go grab your VOD file. So I have that right here. This is a YouTube stream I just recently did. Okay. If it asks you to change the frame rate, just go ahead and change it unless you know what you're doing. Just change it. This is a 60 frames per second stream, if I remember correctly, or it might have been 30 frames. I'm not sure. So, now your stream is here in the timeline. And if you're anything like me, you stream for 2 hours. You can go along the timeline by holding your mouse over this part of the screen and just click and drag. You'll hear the audio in the background of the stream. So there are a lot of different ways to edit. Everybody has their own technique. Editing is kind of like building with Legos. You just grab a couple from the bin, and then you just gradually build from there. You get a couple from one place, you get a couple from another set, you take some from your best friend, you steal them from his house, and you use them there. So now that you've dragged your stream onto the timeline, it's going to be here. You can go all the way through the stream by holding your mouse on this section of the timeline and just clicking and dragging. You can hear the audio from the stream. But right now we're in the cutting section of DaVinci Resolve. You can see down here, there are a few sections. And we don't care about all of them right now. We will later. But for now, what we're going to do is we're going to go to the edit section. So this looks a little similar to the cutting section, but not exactly. So now, to move along the timeline, you grab this orange pole here. Just click it, drag it. You're going to move it along. Sounds pretty funny, huh? So, this is the beginning of your editing process. Now, there are a bunch of different ways to edit. Everyone has their own style that they learn over time. Sometimes you just take things that you like from other people, and that's perfectly valid. I do that all the time. We're going to be doing that in this video. I'm going to show you how to edit the way that some other people do. So, but for our beginning, I just want to show you my process for how I get all of the highlights of the VOD in order. So this is what I do. What I do, personally, is I look down here. This is your waveform. This is basically the audio of your stream. And what I always do first in my stream is I go across the whole stream, and I find the parts where it gets louder, because that's when I'm talking, okay? And obviously you don't want a video full of just random dead air. So what you're going to do now is you're going to click your edit mode tool. You can either hit B on your keyboard to do this, or you can click it right here. And basically this is going to turn your mouse into a blade. And you're going to be able to cut clips. You're going to be able to split them. Okay, so now it's basically 2 clips. We have this part of the video that I'm going to get rid of. I'm going to click on this, and I'm going to hit Control X, like you're cutting and pasting. It's basically the same thing. I'm going to cut that. So that, completely out of the video now. So now, we have this first part of the stream where I'm talking to everybody, and we can hit play on the video and just listen to it. Yeah. High quality. See? I said it right there. High quality. Oh, by the way, I forgot to teach you guys this in the first part of the tutorial. But if you ever cut a clip and you want to get that portion that you cut back, all you have to do is click the end of a clip of like the uncut portion, grab it, drag it, and there you go. It brings the video right back. It saves it. It saves it within the program. It doesn't delete it when you cut it. So we have that. Obviously, I don't really want that in the video. You may want it in the video, but I prefer to start with gameplay. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to skip ahead to where we start playing the game. Okay. Good to go. So now we can cut that previous clip. Gone. And now we just have the gameplay. So here's the hard part. You're gonna have to watch the majority of the VOD unless you already know where some of your funnier moments are, and sometimes you will, especially on Twitch. If you leave stream markers, you can export those, put them on top of the VOD, and just be able to edit even more easily. But this is a YouTube stream, and I don't really remember a lot of what happened in this stream. So we are gonna have to just go through it and find all the good parts. So the way I typically do that is I just sort of look for exciting parts where I get louder in the waveform. Let's see. So here I'm starting a quest in Monster Hunter. So let's see. Maybe I do something funny here, something interesting. Let's just play it. I'm just sort of watching the cutscene.
Say the fuck word. Oh no. Oh.
It's always kind of funny, but I don't think I really want that in the video. Okay, I remember what this is.
See, guys, watch. Watch, isn't it funny when I say bad words in complete opposition to what you guys tell me to do? Isn't that funny?
And I play the laugh track through my soundboard.
They think so.
Okay. So here we go. We have our first clip. And it's okay to just take things that you think are okay. Not everything has to be perfect. And honestly, by the end, you're probably going to be cutting a lot of the things that you pick out anyway. So just let it roll, let it ride. That's how I would do it.
Why didn't you tell us?
So here is a situation you may run into a lot. If you ever need to zoom in to a clip to get really precise edits, you can do that by hitting Control plus and then Control minus is zoom out. So we're gonna snip this right here, get rid of all the bits we don't need. And now we have our two clips. So how do we put them together? That's easy. Just grab one clip that you like, click on it, click and drag, move it over, and then now it's all one big long unconnected segment.
See, guys,
or
watch.
Connected segment.
Watch, isn't it funny when I say bad words in complete opposition to what you guys tell me to do? Isn't that funny? See, it's funny. They think so. Why didn't you tell us my YouTube streams were in front of a live studio audience?
There you go. So I only really want the first part because after this it's just sort of me saying unnecessary information. Maybe on the stream is a lot funnier, but in the video, I prefer my videos to be a lot snappier. So we're going to cut that. We're going to try, and now we're just going to go and find our next part.
Instantly say it.
I like this part. This is a pretty good part. It does have a bit of a gap, so we're going to cut the gap in the middle there. Same way we do it always. And if you want ever grab two clips at once, click one of them, hold Control, and then click another, and you can select multiple clips. You can do the same thing by clicking one and then holding Shift and then clicking another clip, and it'll grab all of the clips that are in that range. So, in fact, we'll do that right now. We're going to click one clip, then we're going to hold Shift, and we're just going to move clips all the way to the front of the timeline. Now this is the slow way to do this. I'll show you guys the fast way later on. We're not going to get into the fancy editing yet. That's going to be later. We're just trying to get all of our clips in order. Okay? And so yeah, honestly, this is pretty much the process that you're going to want to do until you just have everything in order. This is the way I do it, at least. I know a lot of other editors do it differently, but I think special effects can come at the end. What I think you should have together first is your clips, your highlights. So I'm gonna speed the video up, and and I'll see you guys when I have everything ready to go. Alright, so here's a good opportunity for me to show you guys the quicker way to move a clip around. What you're going to do is you're going to click the clip, hit Control X, that's going to cut it and go to your clipboard. Then you're gonna put this orange thing. I honestly don't know what it's called, by the way, so make fun of me while you can. But you're gonna go back to where you want it on the timeline, hit Control V, and boom. Now that clip is all the way back here, and we don't have to move it anymore. So you don't have to do the whole clicking and dragging thing. So it's very handy. Here's another good opportunity for me to just cut a bunch of random bits. And sometimes you will want to just show raw, unedited gameplay. Sometimes you do want it to be snappier. It really just go with your gut, whatever you're more comfortable doing.
From writing.
So this part is another interesting case. So this is me reading the chat. Sometimes you're going to want to keep these, sometimes you won't. It just depends. I'm going to get rid of this one because it relies on context of the conversation that we were previously having. I would recommend cutting these, even if you know that they're funny, even if they're the funniest thing ever. If you took out the context for it, and if the context takes too long out of the video, then it's really just not worth it. Keep it snappy. Keep it going. Keep the pace going. Okay. So this is a good example of knowing in advance what you're going to do for the video. Because I very vividly remember this clip. This is a clip that I took myself and I put it on TikTok and I put it on Twitter. And so I already know that this part needs a step. This just entire segment. Because I already know it's funny. Okay. So that's just a whole big unedited segment, but it's really good. It's really funny. And honestly, that's a real good motivation to try and do a lot of funny moments on stream, because it does make the editing process a lot easier when you just have these long unedited segments where you're just being funny after funny after funny. It makes it a lot simpler.
We were doing pretty good there, though. I was getting in the groove, and then I got greeted on.
So we're just going to go back to editing. And if you're wondering how I'm doing this, I'm moving across the timeline. If you have a mouse where you can hit the left and right sides of the scroll wheel as a button, that's how I'm doing that. Oh, not every mouse has that, though.
And,
So this is an interesting case. A lot of the time, life stories, it just depends. I don't always like having them, but I'm going to cut this and just keep it for later. If I decide to get rid of it from the video, we'll see. So.
of how I'm a...
So we're just going to cut like usual.
Talking about life, I was actually about to tell a story.
So we just want the part where I say I was actually about to tell a story.
Talking about life,
So we zoomed in really far, and you can see in the waveform, in between each of my words, there's a dip. So we're going to cut during one of those dips, and then now we just have the part where I say I was just about to tell a story. We don't need everything else in that whole conversation. So, you know, it all sounds really complicated, right? It all sounds so complicated, but honestly, the more you do it and the more you practice, it's going to become just second nature. You're just going to feel these things. Feel them inside your bones. And I think ultimately, it'll be a lot simpler and easier and a lot more fun, too. And sometimes you are going to want to cut out the parts where you say, Some editors don't, some editors do. It just depends. I prefer to cut them because I do say it a lot, and it does bog down the pace a little bit.
of how I'm a stupid idiot. I got hired, or may know, I got hired by the arcade recently, and I'm dumb. I got hired, and I haven't gotten onto the
So we're gonna just cut to the part where I actually start telling the story instead of stuttering over my own words. It's okay to stutter when you're streaming, by the way. Please do not feel bad that you do that during streaming. We all do it. Just, if you're making a video, don't leave those parts in because people will click off of your video. So that was pretty good. That was actually a lot better than I remember it being. that little story. And we may decide to cut that. We may leave it in. I don't really know. We'll see.
I mean, all it really means is that, you know, I'm one day ahead of them mentally, so I win.
And here we go. We bring it back, put a nice little bow on it with a funny joke. And that's perfect. That's a memorable moment. It shows your personality. Those are the types of things that you want to leave in a video, because ultimately what a video is showing your personality to the people who are watching who maybe can't see the stream. But if you leave these moments in, you can make them want to come to your stream. So I'd highly recommend just seeking out these moments in your streams and keep them in your videos.
Oh boy, it's an IRL. Hell yeah. We got the gold,
So yeah, parts like this are just stuff I would cut. Parts where I'm just talking to chat, hanging out with chat, not really very worth it to keep in.
Ow! You know, I may be evil and genocidal and crazy, and I want to take over the universe. But, you know, at least I'm not a dick. Right?
There you go.
At least I'm not that guy.
Perfect. Perfect little clip. So, we're going to put it right next to its sister portion, and we're going to move both of them to the rest of the video. So, if you take a look at the video, you put your orange thing over the end of the timeline, we already have 3 minutes worth of footage, which is pretty good, considering that we're not even all that way through the VOD yet. And remember, we want it to be 10 to 20 minutes of footage in the video, so that we can please the YouTube algorithm. So, I would always shoot for that length, especially for this sort of video. And yeah, honestly, this is just my process. Just go through, watch for good clips, cut them out, save them, and when we're through with the VOD, we'll have everything ready to go. So, here we are. I've got all of the clips from the VOD here in a row, moved them all over like I showed you guys how to do. And, you know, it's actually been 1 day since I recorded that segment of the video. So, you know, power of video editing, right? Anyway, so now it's time to spruce everything up, make it look nice, make it look professional, and amp up the comedy a bit with some special effects. So, technically, this by itself could just be the video. Just all of these clips in a row cut together. But we don't do that here. We're going to make it nice and fancy. We're going to make it like VShojo does. VShojo is just an example I'm using because a lot of VTubers want to achieve that style. And that's why I wanted to make this video, is to break down that barrier for you all. So I've gone ahead, I've opened up a Nyanners video. I picked Nyanners because I like Nyanners. There's no real particular reason. So what we're going to do is we're going to go through the video, and we are going to take notes. And we're going to take notes on the stuff that we like from the video. And if I miss anything, feel free to post it in the comments. And I'll definitely try and make a follow-up video for this, just to show everything that I missed. So first up, I see two things. I see a zoom in, which is really good. I'll explain why later. So we're going to put zoom. And I see subtitles. Subtitles are big. I'm lazy, so half the time I don't put them in my videos because they're a pain in the ass, but they're definitely worth it if you have the time and patience. So let's continue in the video. Okay, there's another thing we might want in our video, a fade out. So we'll just do fade in / out. Okay. Oh God. So this is the way they accomplished this is very advanced and time-consuming and annoying keyframing. I'm going to cover keyframing in this video, I'm not going to cover this kind. I will make a whole separate video on how to do this because this is a pain in the neck. So, but we'll put it on the list. We'll put it on the list. Keyframing. Okay. We'll just skip ahead a bit. Title card. That'll be an easy one. We'll put it on there. That's an easy one. Skip ahead a bit more. Zoom. Oh, I see something here. I'm just skipping through the video. So right here, I can see a really good example of masking. Now, masking is something that we're not going to cover in this video because it's really time consuming, takes a while, and I'm honestly not an expert on it, but we're going to put it on the list anyway, and we may do a follow-up video for it. So, masking. Okay. Let's continue forward. Okay. Black and white with text overlaid. We're going to put text and black and white. Okay, let's continue forward a little bit. This is another zoom. I'm just sort of flipping through the video, seeing if anything sticks out. Okay, this is a good one. This is, if you ever want to have like a funny transparent image over your video, I can show you how to do that. Transparent image. Okay. And yeah, so that seems pretty good. Probably missed a few things. I'm going to add one on my own because I want to show you guys how to do a blur and a camera shake. I'm going to add those on my own because I know that a lot of VTubers are going to get a lot of use out of that, especially if they yell a lot like me. So, typically for gameplay highlight videos like this, you don't want to have too many transitions. It's typically the style is more simple and you will have more cuts. It really just depends on what you're trying to do in the video and what you're trying to accomplish. Sometimes you're going to have more effects. Sometimes you're going to have less. Right now, we're just going to keep things simple, okay? We're going to keep them nice and easy breezy, beautiful. And yeah. So, first up on our list of wonders is a zoom. So, typically, you want to use a zoom to emphasize an important part of the video where you're talking and you don't really need to see the gameplay very much or whatever else is going on the stream. So a lot of the time I use this to emphasize jokes that I make or embarrassing moments, reactions, that sort of thing. So let's just go through our video and we'll see if we can find any moments like that.
See, guys, watch. Watch, isn't it funny when I say bad words in complete opposition to what you guys tell me to do? Isn't that funny?
Okay. So there you go, right there, right at the beginning of the video. That's a perfect opportunity to go ahead and do a zoom. So the way you're going to want to do that is click on the clip that you want. You're going to go up here to the top right and click the inspector. You still have to be in the edit tab, by the way. Make sure you're in the edit section. So we're going to click the inspector. And right here, you're going to see a section called transform. And right here, you can say, it says zoom. So we're going to zoom in. All right. But that's zooming into the direct center of the video. And we don't want that, obviously. We want to zoom in on our avatar. So what we're going to do is we're going to go over here where it says position. And we're going to click on the X coordinate. So that's your left and right. We're going to drag it over here. And then our Y coordinate is up and down. So we're going to drag it down here. And there you go. We're more zoomed in. Now maybe you want to zoom it in even more. That's pretty good. And then now, if you play the video back again.
See, guys, watch. Watch, isn't it funny when I say bad words in complete opposition to what you guys tell me to do? Isn't that funny? See, it's funny. They think so.
There you go. And then when you go to the next clip, it's not going to have that zoom on top. So this part, if I remember correctly, is more related to gameplay. So why don't we go back to our list and see what we have. Subtitles. Subtitles I'm going to save till the end. I'll show you guys how to do those later. A fade in, fade out. Okay? I can show you guys how to do that right now. So depending on what kind of video you want to make, some people put fade-ins at the beginning of their videos, some people don't. Like if you noticed in that Nyanners video, she didn't, or her editors didn't rather, because sometimes you like these things to be snappier, because a fade-in makes it look more cinematic. So like for this video, I don't think we have any big fade-in worthy epic moments. I had one of them in a previous video. But just for the sake of teaching you guys, I'm going to show you how to do it anyway, even though it's not entirely fitting. So the way you do that is you go down here, and you're going to put your mouse on the top left of the clip that you want to fade in. Okay? And you're going to click it. This little white thing looks like a Pop-Tart. That's what I'm calling it. I'm calling it the Fade Pop-Tart. You're going to click it. You're going to drag it over, and you see how this part of the screen turns black right here. Okay, that is the part of the video that will be faded out. So it's faded out right now, and then it gradually fades in, and it'll be finished at the part where you have the Pop-Tart. So let's put the Pop-Tart a bit closer to when I start talking, and then if we go back to the beginning of the timeline, we start all over again.
See, guys, watch. Watch, isn't it funny when I say bad words in complete opposition to what you guys tell me to do? Isn't that funny?
And there you go. That's how you do a fade in to fade out. Simple as that. And then to do the fade out, it's the exact same process, but in reverse. You're going to go to the end of the clip. And go to the end of the clip. You're going to grab the Pop-Tart on this end. And you're going to drag it over, and it'll fade out the video. And fading in and out for audio is the exact same process. Grab the Pop-Tart and drag. That's all you got to do. And then now, if we listen.
GG.
There you go. Fades right out. Perfect. So, what's next on our list? Let's take a look. Keyframing. Okay. So we said we'll skip that part. We'll save that for our next video. A title card. All right. So we're just going to do a simple, basic, easy one. Because you can go crazy with these. I'll probably do a crazy one later. And I'll put it in the finished version of this video. But we're just going to do a simple, basic, and easy one. And see, I moved all the clips using that trick by holding shift that I showed you guys in the previous part of the video. Okay. So now what we're going to do for the title card, like I said, we're just going to keep it very simple for now, is over here on the left, you're going to have your toolbox. Okay. It might be disabled, in which case you need to go up here. You need to click Effects Library, and it'll pop it right up. Now what we're going to do is we're going to go into our toolbox. We're going to go into titles. Okay. And then right here, basic text. This is a pretty good starting point. If you click on that, it'll open this up in the inspector. And this is where you can add your text. So we'll just say Knight plays, or we'll just say supervillain plays Monster Hunter Rise. Like I said, something simple and easy. I'll probably make a fancy one for the final version of the video, and I'll show you guys that at the end. But for the tutorial, here's just something easy you can do. So, you can change the font. So, I'm actually going to change it to the font that I always use, which is actually the Danganronpa 2 font, if you didn't know. And I'll show you guys later how to add a sound effect, too. Because it's always nice to have a little sound effect next to stuff like this. You can change the size. You can change it in exact numbers, which is really helpful. So there you go. Supervillain plays Monster Hunter Rise. Something simple and easy. Alright. So, video's coming along pretty well. It's looking good. There is a type of zoom in that I never showed you guys that I'm going to go ahead and show you now while it's on my mind. So if you ever want to do a dramatic zoom in where it's not just always zoomed in at the beginning, if you want it to stay normal at one point and then zoom in over time, here's how you do that. So this actually goes into keyframing. Like I said, wait a minute. And while we're here in the video, I just do want to emphasize there are a bunch of different ways to do the things that I'm showing you guys, okay? There are a ton of different ways. Even in this program, using other programs, there's so many ways. These are just the ways that I personally do this, but if there's another way that you want to do this that you found online, that's totally okay. That's the magic of editing. It's completely up to you. Okay? So now I'm going to go ahead and show you guys how to add a sound effect. It's pretty simple. I'm just going to use the same sound effects that I use for my Stream Deck. So if we go into my folder here, you can see I have the sort of funny sound effect that's in a couple of the memes, like the ape here, whatever he's called. And we're just gonna drag it into the program like I just did. And you can see it adds another audio track called Audio 2. So Audio 2 doesn't mess with Audio 1. Think of it like a sandwich. Audio 1 is on top of Audio 2, which is like the bottom bun. Audio 1 is the meat, and then the video is the top bun. So they're not going to mess with each other. So let's go ahead and play the clip again and just see how it sounds.
No! No!
So that actually sounds pretty good. If you don't like how it sounds, you can also click the middle of the track. It is a little hard to do it, but you'll see these two arrows, okay? These two arrows pop up. And if you click and drag, you can change the level. So see how the waveform gets smaller and bigger? It'll actually change the volume. But I'm going to leave the volume how it was because I think that sounds pretty good.
No! No! I just realized I don't have train.
Okay. And that's how you add a sound effect. So next up, I wanted to show you guys how to add a camera blur and a camera shake. I've already gone ahead and put in the keyframes for this clip where I want to zoom in on my face, but this is the part where I'm freaking out. Something in the gameplay is happening that's crazy and scary, and I want to sort of emphasize how much I'm freaking out. So the way that you do this is you're going to go into your clip again, zoom in a bit. You're going to cut out the portion that you want to start shaking like crazy. So for us, that's going to be down here toward the end. All right. It's going to be these last two parts where I'm sort of freaking out. You're going to go over to your Open Effects. You're going to go down to Effects. And, oh, wait, no, you're not. Sorry. You're going to go down to Filters. You're going to go to Open Effects Filters, and you're going to scroll down. And then down here, there's going to be one called Camera Shake. Okay. So here's Camera Shake. We're going to add that.
No! No!
Let's see how fast it is. We might want to speed it up.
No! No!
So that's pretty slow. That's not very funny. You know, it's sort of chill. So the way you change that is just, honestly, you can screw with all these settings and just play around with it all the live long day, and you'll eventually find something you like. So we're gonna change motion scale. So that's gonna make the motions bigger when it shakes, and then if you change speed scale, obviously that's gonna speed it up.
No! No!
And then you can actually take this past the limits that it sets on the scale. No, you can't. That was wrong. Okay. And then you can also add a motion blur onto it. So there we go.
No! No!
So that helps. And then I'm just going to go ahead and put in another transition. There we go. Oh, I messed it up. If you ever mess anything up in the program, just hit Control, hold Control and hit Z, and it'll undo whatever you just did. So.
Puppy! No! No!
So there you go. A nice smooth transition. You can add a sound effect to that. I'm going to show you guys sound effects later. Okay. So now I'm going to go ahead and show you guys how to add a Now I'm going to go ahead and show you guys how to add a transparent image. So if you're a VTuber, you probably already know what a PNG is, but just in case you don't, a PNG is a special type of image file that has a transparent background, so it's completely see-through. So we saw in that Nyanners video, she had that picture of the guy who's a famous musician. I don't know what his name is. I'm probably going to get yelled at in the comments. Anyway, so I have my own PNG here of a brain. Because I want it to go over my head because I'm making fun of how smart I am. So, alright, we have our brain picture here. Problem is, it's way too big. So the way we're going to change that, it's just the same as how we zoomed in, pretty much. We're going to take the brain, move it here, push it up, and there you go. We're just going to stick it on top of my head just to be funny. So I did say that I wasn't going to show you guys the super advanced keyframing that Nyanners did in that video. But I will show you a more basic version of it here that won't take quite as long. So if you want to do something like this, where it's a PNG moving and sort of match something going on in the background, the way you do that is we're going to use our keyframes from earlier. Remember that we set keyframes when we did our zoom? We're going to do that for this too. So I want it to start in this position. I'm going to add our keyframes. Then I'm going to move to the next point where I want it to be. So now I can see that my head moves too high and it starts to cover my face. So I'm going to move it up a bit using the position thing. Okay. So now it automatically added a keyframe for the position. We don't have to change the zoom because we're not changing the size. We're just changing the position. And we're going to move along the video a bit more. Okay. Move it a little bit.
Super duper intelligent.
And see, my head really moves now. So we're going to move the position again. And it's really good to just sort of scroll back and forth. Even if you add new keyframes, you're like, oh, that'll fix the problem. Sometimes it'll make the old keyframes inaccurate. Because remember, this image file is always moving. This file is going to move if there's a keyframe. If it sees a keyframe and it says, oh, I'm not at that position, it's going to start moving to go to that position. So now, let's see how it looks.
Maximum super duper intelligent.
Okay, so that actually looks pretty good, except for this very ending part where the zoom on the video goes away. So we're going to find the frame where it goes away. And you can move frame by hitting the arrow keys, by the way. Very useful. All right, we're going to take our cut key, or our cut tool, and we're just going to cut that part of the image file track off. So now there's no image. It's just the video that's in the background. So, all right, looking pretty good. And now it's time for the part that I like the absolute least out of making VTuber videos, and that's subtitles. I hate subtitles, but I'm going to teach you how to do them because I like hurting myself. So, the way that you do subtitles is you're going to right-click your video track. You're going to hit Add Subtitle Track. Okay? And now you can see up here, it's added a subtitle track. And this is a dedicated track just for subtitles, like the title suggests. The way you add a subtitle is you right-click, hit Add Subtitle, and boom, it adds a little box where you can have a subtitle. It works just like a video clip. You can make it longer, you can make it shorter, and this will just sort of determine how long it stays on screen. And if you remember in the Nyanners video, Now, you may remember in the Nyanners video, if you see here, she has colored text. A lot of VTubers do this. A lot of clippers especially do this. This is just sort of how it's been for ages and ages. So I'm going to show you guys how to make your subtitles look like this. It's not going to look exactly like this because the way that VShojo does their subtitles is very unique. But I'm going to show you how you can do something like this in DaVinci. So first, we're going to add our text, our actual subtitle itself. So the way we do that is we just listen to what's being said.
See you guys, watch.
Okay, so that's one part. See you guys, comma, watch. ...
Watch, isn't it funny
Isn't it funny when
I say bad words in...
When I say bad words. Okay. So now you can see, 1, the text is white, so it's kind of hard to see on this background. 2, it's really small. And obviously we don't want that. So first of all, we're going to go ahead and make the text a lot bigger. And just like when we did the title card, you can change the font. There's a lot of different fonts you can do. I think you should use a sans font. Get your jokes out now, please. Get them out now. You should use a sans font because sans fonts are very legible, very easy to read, but you can do whatever font you want. I mean, don't let me stop you. I just like to use Open Sans. I like to use Open Sans Extra Bold especially. Just something simple, easy to read. Okay? So now it's white. Some people like to do a dark inner color with a white outline. It's really up to preference if you want to do that or if you want to do a light color with a dark outline. We're going to do a light color with a dark outline. So we're going to keep the font as white, but if you do want to change it, you can go right here to the color section, click this, and just change it to whatever you want. I'm going to keep it as white. And then, if you want to add an outline, the way that DaVinci does this for its subtitles is very odd. Basically, what this is going to do is it's going to cut into the actual word and replace it with a color. So you see now, we have our... you can barely see it, but it has changed the color of the outside of the word into purple. So obviously I always do purple. You can change the color of this to be whatever you choose. If you make it too big, it is going to make the words look really weird. So just, be careful with it. And ultimately what you want to do is you want to have less words on screen, but you want them to be bigger. So we're actually going to cut a lot of this. We'll make it a bit smaller because ultimately you want it to be legible. Okay. So now you can also change the position. So I'm actually going to move the subtitles down a bit towards the bottom of the video. Okay. But see, now that we took out some words, it obviously you're going to have to add more subtitles. The less words you have in your subtitles, the more of them you're going to need. So let's go to where I say funny in the waveform.
See, guys, watch. Watch, isn't it funny?
So right here in the waveform, if we zoom in, you can see right here, this is where I said the word funny. You can even hear it.
Funny.
So we're going to make the subtitle end right as I finish saying that word. Okay. There we go.
When I say bad words in...
So we can probably have another subtitle right here. The nice thing about the way DaVinci works is that whenever you add a subtitle, you can allow it to keep the same subtitle style. The way you do that is it's automatically going to have this check called Use Track Style, and it'll just keep the same style for every subtitle. You can turn that off if you want a certain subtitle to look different. It really is just up to personal preference. So let's hear that audio again, please.
When I say bad words...
Okay, so we're going to add when I say bad words. You can probably add a couple more words there.
Bad words in complete opposite.
When I say bad words, incomplete. But see, that's getting a bit big, so we're just going to end it at in. And so you're just going to go through the entire video and do this for all of your spoken words. So, this is why I don't like doing subtitles personally, but I just know that a lot of VTubers use them, and a lot of VTubers wanted to know how to do them. So I'm gonna go ahead and do them for the rest of this video.
Hey guys, it's me from the future. I just wanted to say it's gonna take me a little while longer to get this video edited, this Monster Hunter video that we were making together. I wanted to have it released alongside this tutorial so you guys could see everything, but it's just going to take a little bit longer to get finished. It is, you know, pretty time consuming editing videos like this, and I have a certain standard of quality that I like to hit, so I just wanted to say that. So just be on the lookout for when I eventually get this Monster Hunter video done. And yeah, so let's go back to the video. So you may or may not be happy with the video at this point. If you aren't, it's entirely okay to continue on editing, go as far as you like, but if you are okay with the video now, I'm going to show you what you have to do to render the video. So you're going to go down here into this little spaceship. This is the Deliver tab. This is where you're going to go to render. Up here in the top left, there are a couple presets for different ways to do this, but I'm going to go ahead and show you the custom preset because this is going to give us a lot more options, and in the long run, it's going to be a lot easier to use. So first you can set your file name. So we're going to call it Monster Hunter Rise Highlights 1. Then it's going to ask you to select a folder. So I've already selected mine, so go ahead and do that. You can render either a single clip or an individual clip. For this tutorial, we're going to go ahead and leave it as a single clip. And then you have separate video, audio, and file settings. The video and audio we're going to leave alone. But if you are using subtitles, you're going to want to pay attention down here to subtitle settings, okay? You're going to want to click Export Subtitle, Format, Burn into Video. So what that's going to do is that's going to force the subtitles to stay in the video. So be sure to do that. Otherwise, your subtitles aren't going to be there. And then you have a whole bunch of settings you can go ahead and change. For YouTube, we're not really going to have to worry about most of these. I would render in the MP4 format with a codec of H.264. I would render at either 720p or 1080p at least 30 frames per second. That's what I would render at, but it's entirely up to you. So go ahead and click this button down here, Add to Render Queue. One of my clips is offline. Yeah, replace that. And then it's going to add it to the render queue here. It's called Job 1. So if you want to do multiple little clips and then have the big long video, you can do that. You can do that by coming here to Render Entire Timeline and changing it to In-Out Range. So we've already put the entire timeline as 1, but let's say we want to do just this intro part, okay? And then that will be Job 2, so it'll be 2 videos. What we're going to do now is we're going to right click here. We're going to click Mark In. Then we're going to move the timeline indicator all the way over here. Right click again, click Mark Out. And then add that to the render queue. Oh, you want to give it a different name. So Monster Hunter Rise Clip 1. All right. And then you can hold Control and click. It'll select both jobs, then click Render All, and you'll be good to go. It's just going to go ahead and render those 2 videos for you. How long that's going to take does depend on your computer. For me, it takes a couple minutes, but for some people, it can take a couple hours, so just be aware of that.
So, how was that? I really hope that you guys learned a few things. I know this video has been incredibly long, But honestly, this was about as simple as I could make things. I really would like to do another video. If I've missed anything at all, if you'd like to know anything else, just post it in the comments. I will do my absolute best to help out. This is just a sort of all-in-one beginner's guide, and I thought it would be really helpful for the VTuber community. This is my first time doing anything like this, anything like a tutorial. So I really hope that I did a good job. I hope that you all enjoyed it. And I hope to see you some other time here on the channel. So yeah, my name is Night Paradox, and I hope that you have a good night.